For example 4, they want us to talk about closing costs. It says consider the following pairs of loans options for a $120,000 mortgage. Calculate the monthly payment, total closing costs for each option. Explain which option you would choose and why. The choice for the choice 1 is for a 30-year fixed rate at 4.5% with closing costs of this much and 1 point. So let me go ahead and explain points. Points are 1% of the loan amount. So it changes with every single problem. So in this problem, it's going to be 1% of this loan amount. In another problem, like the last one, you had you had 180,000. So we had a different loan amount there. So our points would have been different. Every single problem has a different loan amount, so the points are going to be worth a different amount. You need to figure out per problem what the points are. So if 1% of the loan amount means it's 0.01 times whatever the loan amount is. So here our loan amount is 120,000. So that's going to be 1 point equals that. So when we have 1 point, we can replace it with that amount. When we have 3 points, we do 3 times that amount. That's what it is. Points are done that way because they go to the finance company. The finance company rates their stuff by points. So they change how much they get based upon the points. It's their way of getting more money, basically. So for choice 1, we have the 30-year fixed rate. So that's going to be the 120,000 because it's a cheaper house, and then the 0.045 over 12 over 1 minus 1 plus 0.045 over 12 close to the negative 12 times 30 years close. And then for choice 2, we have the same 120,000 and then the 0.0425 over 12 over 1 minus 1 plus 0.0425 over 12 close to the negative 12 times 30 years close. So for choice 1, the monthly payment is not a B. It'll adjust in a minute. 608.02 or not. I don't care. Over here, it's going to be 590.33. Not much difference. That's okay. The only difference really here was the interest rate. One was slightly smaller interest rate. That's about it. So when we scroll on down, we get to the closing costs. Well, the closing costs for the first one said that we had 1 point and $1,200. So when we figure out our closing cost, our direct fees, were $1,200. And then our points that we had to add was 1 point. And that ended up being $1,200, which means we had a total closing cost of $2,400. The big deal about the closing costs is that closing costs have to be paid up front. So you have to have that money ahead of time. It is not money that is financed. You have to have it. It is like good faith money, which you also have to have. That's what your down payment is. But in addition to the down payment, you also have to have good faith money. So you have to have down payment money, you have to have something called good faith money, and you have to have your closing cost money. It's all in there now. The good faith money is new. I started hearing about that about 2 or 3 years ago. They started talking about good faith money that people had to have for larger amounts, that when they were getting loans for larger amounts. I don't know that you would really need it for a house purchase that was as small as this one, but when you're getting a house purchase for like $600,000, you need some good faith money, not just saying, oh yeah, I can do this, but you've got to have some good faith money that you're not going to walk out on this. So there's closing cost money that's paid mainly to the finance and then to the lawyers and to construction and contractors, etc., who say that the house is okay and everything checks out and it's all good. That's what the direct fees go towards. But all of this is all figured out in the closing costs. Over here for the closing costs, for the second choice, you had $1,200 plus 3 points. A lot of times they will give you more points. 3 points is going to be 3 times the 1,200, which is how you get the 3,600, which makes your closing cost now 4,800. They'll give you more points up front so that they can lower your interest rate, thinking that that would kind of entice you a little bit. Why might choice 1 be the better choice? What's the thinking? Choice 1 has lower closing costs. Cheaper up front. Choice 2 has lower monthly payment. Now the question is, which one's cheaper in the long run? This one wasn't asked. Overall, which one's cheaper? So the 608, asking for free, 60802 times 12 times 30 60802 times 12 times 30 equals 218807.2. And then plus the 2400 equals 'cause you only pay it one time. 221,287.20. Over here, 590.33 times 12 times 30 equals 21251880 plus 4800. $2,173,1880 minus the 221287.2. So this one is only $3,968.40 cheaper. That's not what it looks like it would be, but that's what it ended up being. So those extra points in the beginning saved you almost $4,000. So if you have that extra $3,000, it could save you an additional $4,000. So there's that. That's a little bit on how houses work. Get a really, really good real estate agent. Get one that is not a part of your family. Get one that has had a lot of sales under their belt and knows what they're doing. Okay.